Welcome over to Automotive World, everyone. I'm your host, Vinny Mishkin. We have some really exciting news. We have some spy shots provided from Motor One over here of the Ford Expedition, and we have it pretty much undisguised. We still have a little bit of camo on here, but the front is very clear. No disguises on it. We can take a look at this. We've got a bunch of pictures here, so we're going to go through this. I'll have the link in these articles down below. But let's get right through this. We've been talking about the Expedition for a long time. It's been a very popular seller here in America. It's a really nice body on frame SUV. And let's look at these first pictures that we have. Because we look right here, we are able to see, obviously, we can see the front windshield, we can see the driver themselves there. We do have some roof racks up here. We got our wheels down here. We can see a little bit of the components, but not too much. We do have what here looks like, obviously, a lot of companies are doing this within the industry. These kind of aero splitters and things like that. It's not really too protruding. Toyotas kind of have the worst ones. They're really protruding. They really give you, take away a lot of ground clearance. But this one doesn't seem to be too bad. Whether it's removable or not, we don't necessarily know, so it'll be very interesting to see if it's removable or not. We do have, obviously, some grills here, some slots here, airflow and things like that. Looks like what would either be a combination of the daytime running lights or more than likely some fog lights here. Looks like, though, we don't actually, because if we look on this side as well, we can't actually see any bulbs. So maybe we might have an option for some fog lights there. Maybe the fog lights will go up here, and then maybe we also have a little bit of aero going on here. We can't really tell because of the wrapping, but it does look like you might be able to poke through that. So maybe it might be a real kind of aero kit to give some, better, MPG. That would be very interesting. Obviously, we have our lights up here. On a vehicle like this, obviously, everything's going to be, LED and things like that. We've got our grill here. We've got the Ford logo here. Really interesting to see that. We have turn signals within the mirrors. Come down to the other photos here. We can see it through the fence here. We've got another photo here. Coming over to the front view here. We can really get a look at kind of those lights again. Don't know if whether they're going to be LED, if they're going to be projector or reflector style. That we'll have to see. Got to look at the back here. Very interesting. No tow hitch, it looks like, on this model. Obviously, in this kind of vehicle, you will be able to add a tow hitch. I'm sure Ford will offer one from the factory as well. But there is no tow hitch on this specific unit that was captured here. So that is a bit interesting. But like I said, I'm sure you will be able to get one on here. In terms of another view of the rear, we can see the headlights up here. If we go to our next picture here, we've got another view here, a little bit more clear. You can see the axles and the shocks and things. We got another view here. We've got another clear view here. This one also, on these models, they will usually have optional running boards and things like that. We don't have any of that on this one, though. We do have a picture of the back glass here, so obviously we can tell, the indentation in them. Let's see if we can go full screen on that. Yep. So we can see here a backup camera. Obviously, we have our latches for stuff here. What we have here is obviously the window. It looks like we don't have a windshield on the window coming from the bottom here, so we may have one at the top here. That'll remain to be seen. We can obviously see in the body panel there is some indentation stamping that they did for styling, so we can kind of see it start right here on the creases and kind of also right here as well. Then it curves up, so that is really interesting. Let's go through our other pictures that we have here. We have another far shot of it, another little, this first shot that we saw. We have a head-on view here. Like I said, we don't have any bulbs in these slots, so whether they do any fog lights or anything, I would imagine they'd be down here. But it does look like there are some holes on there. These two top parts here, those obviously it doesn't look like we can't poke through them, but these parts here are exposed, so we might actually have some sort of active aero. Coming to our next pictures over here. The vehicle has a good stance. I mean, this vehicle has always had a pretty good stance on the road. we have some very interesting pictures there. Very interesting. I want to see maybe... Yeah, it looks like so we've got the brake light up there. I can't see whether there is a rear windshield on this model. Maybe it also just because, you know, maybe on this for whatever reason because they're testing it, they may have not added it yet. A lot of people do an integrated one up here though. I can't really tell from up there, but we may or may not have one up there. We've got our antenna right here, and we've got the roof racks right here, like I said. So it is a bit interesting. It doesn't look necessarily, I mean, it looks, I think from the pictures, I think it looks really, really good. Does it look like, you know, better than like Porsche Cayenne or something? Absolutely not. But I think it looks solid for what it is. In terms of any specs and all, we'll have to wait for official specs and things like that. Obviously, we do expect something like this. This is going to be a 2-liter turbo. This is more than likely going to be the 3.5-liter EcoBoost V6. I would suspect, too, also that we will get the hybridized version from here. You know, very similar to also like things like the Nautilus and all that are going to have. We don't have any official specs, but obviously, I would expect that to come over here. You know, that engine. Whether we also get maybe a V8 or any other V6s in it, we'll have to wait. We'll have to wait to see. Don't have any official debut on the truck. Also, obviously, based off the grill and things like that, we can obviously tell this model is not a pure EV. Whether we get a model that is a pure EV, we'll have to wait and see. There's no indication of it. I don't think there's really the market is necessarily asking for something like that right now. But maybe Ford might surprise us and see. But more than likely, obviously, this will have a V6 and it probably will have that hybrid engine. But like I said, any other options and things like that will be, you know, remain to be seen. So we will have to wait for that. The current Expedition that is, you know, in production right now has been out there since 2017. So, you know, going in, we're in 2024, halfway through the year. It's definitely, it's not a spring chicken. You know, it's definitely got some age to it. Obviously, they have done little things over the years, but this is going to be a nice, just, you know, bring it up to date. But we will have to see, obviously, you know, for the interior as well, what do they do. And then obviously, like I said on this one, we didn't have a tow hitch on the back of it, but more than likely this model, they probably weren't testing for towing at the time, so you obviously probably will be able to get one. That's going to do it for now, though, honestly. Like I said, we don't have any official debut or any details, anything like that. But let me know what you guys think down below, and you think it looks good? You think it doesn't look good? What kind of options do you think we'll get on this? And what are you guys ultimately asking and wishing for? So that's going to do it for now, everyone. Thanks for watching.